start. Okay, everybody, welcome. My name is Jeff Sloan. We're here today to talk about how local, independently owned merchants can attract more holiday shoppers this season. Okay, so let's dive right in. We're excited to have you with us today and to focus on this really important subject. We're all going to be riding the wave of Shop Local and Small Business Saturday and what that's meant to the commerce culture here in America. So Small Business Saturday is this year, November 26th, and it's been an amazingly powerful transformation for local merchants. The first one was held in 2010. Of course, this is sponsored by and promoted by and founded by American Express. They've done an amazing job bringing awareness to the need to shop at small local merchants and how that empowers them and brings return on a purchase back to the consumers who care about their communities, who care about the experience of shopping from a small merchant, who care about preserving America's hometowns. Without local commerce, there are no diverse hometown culture in America. So it's important not only to the small merchants that we're speaking to today, but frankly, consumers stand to benefit greatly by keeping their dollars local. Civics economic study indicate that $68 out of every 100 you spend locally stays in your local community to improve schools and parks and sidewalks and beautify towns and really to amp up that small hometown, Main Street, local experience, both in the way of shopping and in the way of lifestyle in general. It's estimated that $16.2 billion was spent at small independent businesses on Small Business Saturday in 2015. So this is not just a novel, cool thing. This is a really powerful transformation in commerce. And we're excited that American Express has undertaken this initiative and done such a fabulous job of driving awareness and attention and traction as it relates to a focus on shop small. So kudos to American Express. Now our agenda today, I'm gonna tee it up, give a little bit of an introduction, hand it over to Stasia, who we'll get to in a minute, and then we're going to allow you to submit questions to social media using hashtag holiday shoppers. We're going to try to get answers to your questions, as many as possible, following the presentations. Okay, so a little bit of background about me. My brand is intrinsically tied to the StartupNation.com brand. This is a company founded by my brother and I in 2002. It's been around for a while, and it's one of the leading sites providing how-to content on how to start and grow a dream business. So it's both for aspiring entrepreneurs as well as existing small business owners. Some of the things that distinguish Startup Nation is that it's really by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. We do have some journalist writing, but a lot of the content that's provided there is provided in part by the Sloan brothers. We've been lifelong entrepreneurs, but moreover, it's provided by entrepreneurs who've been in business, who've lived the challenges, who've overcome the challenges, who've learned from those challenges, and then sharing their expertise with the community at large of aspiring entrepreneurs and small business owners. It's a very credible brand. As we say, it's been around since 2002. It's one of the go-to sources, and we've really built some exciting brand equity around it. We try to provide really good, high value, usable, relatable content in a very user-friendly way. And we really try to direct the content to the community of brick and mortar, freelance, heartland America, if you will, dirt under the fingernails kind of mainstream businesses, ranging from sole proprietorships, dog walkers to photographers to graphic artists, on up to local restaurants or local yoga studios, maybe, or other brick and mortar retail type businesses. But really, we distinguish ourselves by not really being focused on the esoteric coastal VC-backed, high-growth kind of companies, but rather more mainstream kind of businesses. Now, over 2 million people have used programs at Startup Nation to start businesses. We're extremely proud of that statistic. We've contributed to the mainstream America economy, 51% of all of the GDP is generated by small businesses in America. 75% of all new jobs and 99% of current employers are all small business owners here in America. It's extremely important part of our national economy, and certainly the local economies as well. Now, from a personal standpoint, I've been a lifelong entrepreneur, and I know what entrepreneurship has meant to the quality of my own life. And so from a personal standpoint, sharing both from an experience standpoint, a value standpoint, and certainly a knowledge standpoint, my brother Rich and I are thrilled to be able to have the Startup Nation platform to be able to promote and support and foster entrepreneurship as a key way for people to have a quality of life that they're seeking. It's a little bit of press that on this slide relating to Startup Nation. We've been featured everywhere. My brother and I have been on CNBC, MSNBC, CNN, talking about small business and entrepreneurship. We've been featured in a variety of major print publications. As you can see here, in 2005, we were Small Business Journalists of the Year in the Midwest, and so on and so on. So we have amassed a lot of experience. I'll just mention from a personal standpoint, my experience is kind of very colorful and broad and varied, and it's relevant. I say that because it's relevant to my ability to deliver good information and content and advice and support to the small business community out there. I started as actually managing and promoting rock bands at age 19 in Los Angeles, and then came back, got a degree from University of Michigan, imported a set of juggling balls from the UK. My brother and I made it the #1 selling Father's Day gift in 1993. That gave us a lot of retail experience. I then invented a device called the Battery Buddy, which prevents dead batteries on cars and boats, got a patent on it, got it licensed to a major corporation. And then we were receiving royalties on the sales of that device by that corporation. And we learned a lot, again, this varied background from inventing to product importation to retail to, all that goes with it, IP and so on. All of this put us in position to become the small business experts that we are today. And now we have a growing portfolio of companies ranging from high tech in the biotech field to more esoteric Main Street kind of businesses. We've had some good success, fortunately, and we continue to do the venture development work that we do and the work at Startup Nation that we do. I wanted to show this slide because I do have a personal particular interest in local commerce, brick and mortar local commerce. And I really have two entities that mainly focus on that personal interest of mine. One is Main Street Nation, which is a subsidiary of Startup Nation. And Main Street Nation provides best practices kind of content and advocacy for America's local main streets and Main Street kind of businesses. This is a relatively new site, so there's some content there, but we're looking forward in 2017 to really ramping this up and making this a major focus at Startup Nation. The other is a new technology platform connecting consumers and local merchants for the purpose of driving more local commerce called Wantify. And what Wantify does is it allows merchants to notify their best customers, those that they may have on a list, or a customer that may come in the store can sign up to Wantify and favorite the merchants that they like to frequent most often in a local community. And by doing so, those consumers are awarded by the local merchants they select with information, high value information, notifications and alerts from the merchant. Could be as mundane as a change in hours or menu features tonight that may be on the menu from a local restaurant, notifying their best customers of this. Or it may be deals and offers that they're pushing out. It may be notification of inventory coming in that their best customers might want to be awarded a sneak peek at before everybody else in the public gets to have access to the merchandise or sales that are coming up and so on. So this is being launched right now. We're getting some really good traction in a couple of test markets, and we're excited about the potential of Wantify. I mention it all because it, again, further accrues to the information I've gathered relating to all of this. We've got a slide loading right now. What I wanted to do with this slide was really kind of tee up some of the negatives and positives associated with local commerce today, to give some background, some context. So you might call them negatives, you might call them challenges, and you guys know this, frankly, probably better than I do because you're experiencing it every day. But I wanted to highlight some important things. One thing that was amazing to me, for example, is that only about 40% of small businesses use a website for advertising or promotional purposes. And that's just representative of the fact that a lot of local merchants just not sufficiently equipped today to be able to compete. Now, how can you not have a website in today's world? And so, and the answer to that is, well, I'm busy. I've got, I haven't had a chance yet. I've got customers coming in the door. I've got bills to pay. I've got inventory to count and take care of and so on. It's not easy to be a local merchant today, but there are some fundamentals that local businesses must attend to and focus on if they're just going to be able to compete in today's environment. And having a website is just, the blocking and tackling of being in local retail today. I thought that was important to illuminate. It's kind of an amazing statistic that only about 40% of small businesses today do have a website. So the other thing is, this is an obvious one. You can't win on best price local merchant. I mean, it just, either you're cutting into your margins or you're pushing out a loss leader. This kind of is just, unless there's a very, very specific need to do it, it's just not the way to operate as a small local shop owner on Main Street in today's world. I mean, just, 71% of the statistic makes the point here. Based on experience, 71% of shoppers believe they get a better deal online. And frankly, they probably do. And when they don't, it's a situation where a merchant is not in a good position because of the margin issues and everything else. You just don't want to be competing on best price. So given that best price is a major driver, we can't ignore it. It is a major driver in commerce today. What do you do? And we'll get to that in a second. There are ways to offer alternatives to best price that can give you an opportunity to compete. Another one of the challenges is that, to be candid, local shopping can lack convenience and efficiency. We cannot deny how efficient it is to buy on Amazon today. It's an amazing thing, and it's probably going to get more efficient all the time. And that's just a reality. And again, we'll propose some ways to, in the next slide, to beat this fact. Some of these things we're not going to be able to change. It's the world we live in today, but there are ways to offer alternatives that are meaningful and are of value to consumers today that'll cause them to choose the local shopping option. Certainly we know that local merchants have limited ad and marketing dollars to spend. Probably not going to be too many Super Bowl commercials coming out of Main Street USA. It's a tough deal, and to pay up front on an advertisement in a magazine, or a local newspaper. I mean, these are costly things, and they're risky because local merchants are having to gamble their dollars on things they hope will work, but they don't always do. And this notion of broadcast advertising is frankly a thing of the past as it relates to local commerce today. Okay, and rolling on then to the next point, some of the positives. Listen, there's a shop local wave going on. We've mentioned it again, thanks to American Express. It's interesting. There was a recent poll by Reach Local just about a month ago in which 90% of consumers indicated that supporting local businesses during the holidays is important, and 55% plan to shop on Small Business Saturday. That's amazingly powerful. It certainly demonstrates how the shop's small business whole initiative across the country is really having an impact. It really is, and there's an example of it. One other thing that I thought was interesting, a lot of small business owners on Main Street today think, retailers think that most retail is done by online, but the reality is about 85% of all retail today is still brick and mortar. So I put that in the category of a positive because, listen, most commerce, most retail that occurs today is still at the brick and mortar level. We just need to find a way to help each small business owner tap into a greater percentage of that majority of the retail activity that's occurring today. So some of the things that kind of sets a little bit of the context. There's probably, 100 other things we could have highlighted, But I wanted to move right quickly to ways in which local merchants can compete and win. How do you overcome some of the challenges we just highlighted on the previous slide? And I put a cute little couple of italics at the top. We can do that, no problem. I mean, literally, small merchants need to get up every morning, look themselves in the mirror, and recite those lines before they go off to their stores every day, because that's a major differentiator. Now, while that's cute, we'll put it in context in a second. But here's some meaty things, some important points that small business owners must attend to if they're going to be able to compete and win in the retail environment today. Utilization of technology. Again, having a website is fundamental, and having a website and getting found is even more fundamental. So the power of Google search and local directory listings and so on, these are, again, blocking and tackling of having a retail presence today. Even if your website is not an e-commerce site where you're actually doing transactions over the site, that's fine. You still have to have a website to help you get found. And so that's a critical and fundamental thing. And then, of course, the utilization of social media today, extremely powerful. Not only direct social media for the business itself, but there's ways to tap into other social media platforms of relevancy that are of value and of power to a small business owner today. Most towns, for example, most main streets have a social media presence for the town itself. And in our town in Birmingham, Michigan, you can go to Shop Birmingham and find out information about things going on in the town. So make sure you befriend the local downtown development authority executive or the equivalent thereof in your hometown. Make sure you send information that can be posted on the social media pages of the local town as well. This is an important one. The next point, unique offerings. So listen, we talked about you can't compete on price. Well, certainly in commodity-like offerings, the situation is even worse, because then it is basically all price and convenience. And you want to steer away from that. You really want to distinguish yourself by unique inventory selection and offerings or service offerings that are distinguished from anything you could buy at a big box retailer, say, for example, a category killer or an e-commerce, large e-commerce site like the Amazons of the world. Pick unique offerings that make for unique, we're talking about holiday season, that make for unique gifts. Maybe it features local flavors, and maybe it doesn't even have to be that. It could be just unique inventory offerings, one-off kind of offerings, could be crafty type things that only are made available through your store. And then focus on value add as opposed to discounting. And what I mean by value add there is, instead of marking down something for sale where you're literally going to put yourself into the price wars, do something different, add some value. So perhaps offer a product with an additional layer of service on top of the product. If you're a bike store owner, maybe offer a free tune-up every year. Offer something in the way of an additional service that really adds value, and make sure that that value is clearly indicated and known to the consumer when they're making the purchase, so that when they analyze the purchase and they look at what am I really getting for the dollar that I'm spending, they're able to see the advantage of making the local purchase, even if it's at a premium price point, because they're getting substantially more value. So really highlighting value add type deals is critical. Personalization, this is something that's come into the lexicon recently in terms of local retail and so on, but it's a powerful differentiator, powerful. This is where we go back to we can do that, no problem, when a customer asks for something. And so here you can see 53% polled claim that personalized service was the main reason for shopping local. That's important, but even beyond personalized service, even beyond that, it's the notion of a consumer asking for something special. So for example, if you're a baked goods store owner in town and you sell baked goods, instead of having commodity type offerings, maybe you could do cupcakes that were branded in some unique or personalized way that meets the customer's needs, or makes for a unique offering, again, that they can only get through your local store. It's highly unlikely they're going to get a personalized cupcake or anything at Amazon or at their local big box retailer. So I use that as an example. There are many examples, and of course, you know your business better than I do, but you get the idea. To personalize offerings and to say yes to the customer when they ask for something on an individualized basis to the extent that you can is a real powerful differentiator. It really falls in the category of, supreme customer service. And then showcasing your expertise. I'll tell a quick story where I learned firsthand. I was up in northern Michigan with my kids this past summer, and of all things, they wanted to go fishing. So they asked their dad, who knows very little about fishing, "Hey, Dad, take us fishing," and I wanted to do that. So I needed to learn about what I needed to be able to go fishing. I needed to learn about what equipment we needed and so on. I needed to go acquire it. Right outside of town where I was a beautiful Walmart store looming large over the small town where I was. And I thought that would probably be the only place I could go to get some advice and some fishing poles for my kids. So drove over to the Walmart outside of town, walked in, asked, as I walked into the store, I need some advice and guidance on fishing poles and I need to buy some. And they said, okay, aisle 8. And I said, well, okay, aisle 8, but I don't really know a lot about fishing poles. Can you tell me something about it? And the answer was, well, listen, we carry all the major brands. You'll find great pricing there. Really any of the ones you pick are going to serve your purposes just fine. And that was about the extent of the expertise that I got out of the experience. Well, I ended up not doing anything at that store because I really wasn't going to buy something just to buy something. And as I was driving back, amazingly enough, there was, I can't remember the exact name, but Joe's Bait and Tackle Shop right on the right side. So I pulled in and I told him we need to go fishing. Well, instead of getting the aisle 8 answer, I got, well, listen, there's fishing poles and there's fishing poles. You need the special size for kids. You need certain safety features and so on. Well, he guided me through showcasing his expertise, why I needed to buy the products that he recommended. And I did make the purchase there, and it was extremely satisfying. And it just illuminated for me the difference between the aisle 8 answer versus the kind of significant and deep level of expertise that I got out of this particular store owner. And it worked for him and it worked for me. It was a win-win all the way. And then this notion of creating unique shopping experiences. Experience has become a big part of business today. And stores are becoming, largely showrooms, and you need to distinguish yourself by, showcasing your products in action or your services in action, and as opposed to just having inventory on the shelves. And so again, if you're a baked goods store, I'm going to go back to that example. There's 1,000 examples we could pick, but maybe you should have, maybe every now and then you should offer the unique opportunity to learn how to bake a special cupcake, or a new way to frost a cupcake, or new products on the market, and have people come in and actually experience the making of cupcakes right in your store. It's an example, but I think you get the point. 64% of people, you see the statistic there, think that customer experience is more important than price. And there we are, highlighting the ability to beat best pricing by creating, again, that kind of value add experience that you can get from a local merchant that you just can't get from the efficient best price kind of shopping experience that is offered by, and that, that defines the reason why the big box retailers or the online retailer wins in the cases in which it does. So I wanted to highlight some of those things as ways that local merchants can compete and win. We also wanted to make sure we highlighted and called out the amazing Google case studies that we have at startupnation.com. We've got a partnership with Google, a content partnership where we're featuring these case studies. And they're really, really, really of high value if you want to understand how Google tools can impact and turn around and empower and facilitate business today. Check out these amazing case studies. They'll make the point. You'll be able to learn from them. You'll be able to learn which tools might best apply to you and your needs. But these case studies are really valuable and really powerful. And with that kind of concludes my part of this. And now I want to hand it over to Stasia Kudrez. She's with Google, and she is going to take it from here. Stasia, it's all yours.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. I really appreciate you inviting me to speak today. My name is Stasia, and I'll be talking about 3 ways to get your business noticed on Google just in time for holiday shopping season. All right, so let's talk about connecting with customers in moments that matter. Today, we no longer go online, we live online. Every day, we turn to whatever device is on hand to act on our needs. Google calls these intent-driven moments micro moments. They are the I want to know, I want to go, I want to do, or I want to buy moments. And Google can help you reach these potential customers when the timing is just right, so you can be there in those moments that matter. So here's an example. Last year, I realized that I was probably spending way too much time sitting and staring at my computer screen. So I spent the month of December researching fitness trackers. After comparing features, prices, and reviews, I finally figured out what I wanted. After Christmas, I went to a local sporting goods store with my holiday gift cards, and I bought the tracker that I wanted. I'm actually wearing it right now. I love it, and I've worn it every day since. And people all around the world share similar experiences every single day. So I want you to think about your potential customers and what are their I want to know, I want to go, I want to do, or I want to buy moments. And keeping this in mind, I challenge every person who's listening to examine and possibly reframe your approach to presenting your business online. Rather than focusing on what you want people to know about your products and services, think about what they need and what they want to know. And by doing this, you can leverage micro moments, using them as opportunities to connect with people online. So start by number 1, thinking about and anticipating the wants and needs of your potential customers. And then step 2, think about how people might search for that solution on Google. That is, what words and phrases would that person type in? And then third, work on getting your business to then appear in Google search results. And we'll be talking about that today. And finally, step 4, let's hope that that visit or that appearance on Google gets you the click, brings that visitor to your website, and then possibly the lead or the sale. All right, let's look at the next slide. I'm going to show you a Google search results page, and that'll show you where your business can appear. So I think there might be a delay because I don't see the next slide yet. There we go. Okay, at the very top, you see a word or phrase that the searcher typed in, and that is called the search query. Below the search query, you can see the search results, which is a list of relevant info tailored for that search from that place in the world at that moment in time. At the top, you see images, which are shopping ads placed by retailers. Next, you see a text ad, which is identified with that ad label, and advertisers will pay when searchers actually click their ads. Text ad, you see the start of the natural or organic results. Organic results are web pages that Google's algorithm identifies as the most useful matches for this search. Unlike ads, clicks on the organic results are free. So the ads and the organic results are displayed by completely separate algorithms. It's important to note that websites can't pay Google to appear in the organic results, and advertising is not going to influence your organic position or your presence. Finally, over on the right sidebar, you see a section that provides useful info for the searcher. This business info is called Google My Business, and it's a Google My Business listing. And it's a free tool that can help you manage your info as it appears on Google Search and Maps. This workshop will talk about helping your business appear in these 3 areas of Google and beyond. So let's move to the next slide, the agenda. And today's session is going to cover 3 things that you can do right now to help holiday shoppers find your business online. In the first section, Be Found by Local Customers, I'll show you how to connect with local searchers using Google My Business. In the second section, Be Found Everywhere on all devices, I'll talk about optimizing your website for the organic search results, focusing on making your site mobile friendly. And third, in Be Found with Online Advertising, I'll show you how to promote your products and services on Google and partner websites. All right, Let's talk about being found by local customers. Every month, there are billions of searches on Google. Research shows that people are more concerned with their needs in the immediate moment than any particular brand. So what that means for you is that even if your business is brand new and unknown, you've got a shot at winning a searcher's business if your online presence helps them in a critical moment. Let's talk about the first thing that you can do right now to help your business be found by local holiday shoppers. That is, set up Google My Business. Google My Business is a free listing that can show your critical business info to searchers across Google Search on Maps on all devices. If a searcher types in the name of a specific business, the detailed info can appear on the side of the search results page. And that includes photos, a map, an address, phone numbers, hours of operation, and reviews. Using Google My Business, you can create or claim a free listing. These screenshots show how a business could appear on Google for a searcher nearby. So remember that micro moment story where I was talking about fitness trackers? Once I decide what product I want, I am admittedly impatient. So if I searched for a sports equipment store near me from my office, and I'm in Nashville, Tennessee today, I would see options in close proximity. But if I did that same search for Michigan or another city, state, or country, I would see different results. That's why it's difficult to overemphasize the importance of mobile. Mobile search has been steadily on the rise, and it's now about half of all of the searches on Google. And people who search on mobile phones frequently look for businesses nearby, adding the phrase near me. Google data shows that near me searches grew 146% year over year, comparing 2014 to 2015. Here's another interesting stat. 1 in 3 smartphone users purchased from a company other than the one they intended because of the information provided in the moment that they needed it. So let's talk about setting this up. Start by visiting gybo.com/business and enter your business name to see if or how your business appears across Google. You might see your business info might be incorrect on Google, and that means that the listing hasn't been claimed or verified by the business owner. So the info could be outdated. Now, if this is your business, you can verify it by clicking the button labeled Verify Your Business Info. If you see on the report your business isn't on the map, that means that the diagnostic tool can't find any information about you. So your business might not yet appear on Google. And you can click the Add Your Business Info button, and then you'll be guided through the steps. Okay, so next you'll see a page where you'll enter info about your business. So pay attention to a few things. First, spelling and capitalization. That's what potential customers could see. Every event I teach, someone misspells the name of their business or puts on all caps or all lowercase. So here are a few guidelines. Enter the complete official street address for the business, and that means don't include extra details like across the street from X, Y, and Z or nearby landmarks. You can add suite or office numbers on the second separate address line. PO boxes are not allowed for a Google My Business listing. You also need to select a category for the business. And so start by thinking of a category that you'd like to use and then type in a few letters to see what options automatically appear below. You have to choose an existing category. You can't edit them or create your own. It's okay if you can't find the perfect one. Just choose something close. Now, like many out there, myself included, I operate from home a lot. I'm working out of my home office right now. And many local service area businesses do the same. In this case, the residential address should be kept private. These businesses can still appear on Google Maps, but Google won't display the address or give people driving directions. So here's how to do it. At the bottom of the page, look for the section labeled I deliver goods and services to my customers at their location. And now check the radio button labeled yes, and then click the continue button. Now you'll set a service area. You can define the service area by adding regions, cities, and zip codes, or specifying a radius. Keep in mind that the service area is intended for a local presence on Google Maps. It's not a way to advertise your business nationwide or worldwide. Even if your business ships products or offers services anywhere, the radius needs to reflect your local area. Google doesn't have an official recommendation for the size of that area. It depends. For example, in a densely populated area like New York City, that radius might be 5 miles, but in a rural area like Texas, maybe somewhere in Texas, the radius might be 100 miles. Choose a distance that makes sense for your business. If the business has a service area and a storefront that's open to customers, check the box labeled, "I also serve customers at my business address." And this will allow the address and the service area to appear on Google Maps. And when you're done, click Continue to go to the next step. Okay. Next, we're going to be confirming your business. Review the address one more time and make sure that everything is spelled right. You can click the back button to make any corrections if you need to. Otherwise, if everything looks good, check the box to confirm that you're authorized to manage this business and agree to Google's terms of service. Then click Continue. All right, the next step is to verify your business. So once you've set up Google My Business, you need to be sure and complete this verification process. You will see your options. Most businesses will verify by requesting a postcard, and that postcard is mailed to the business address with a verification code. Once you get that postcard, you sign back into your account, you enter your code, and then you have confirmed that you actually own this listing. Now, in the meantime, while you're waiting for that verification to happen, you can actually go in and edit your listing and make the most of it by adding complete info like your phone numbers, your business hours, your website URL, photographs, and more. If you have a storefront and you want to give people a sneak peek of what's inside, you can request a quote for a virtual tour, which is created by trusted photographers that are certified by Google. And again, to get started with all this, you can go to gybo.com/business. Now, just in time for the holiday season, I want to point out a relatively new feature that we are showing folks to who are setting up Google My Business. It's now the ability to set up special hours, or for now we'll just call it the holiday hours because that's what's happening now. And many businesses have special hours during this holiday season, extending shopping hours on some days and closing on others. And you can now include that information on Google My Business so shoppers know when you're open or not. Let me show you how to set it up. So sign into Google My Business and edit your business info. The first thing to note is that you need to have regular business hours in there first. So what you'll do is you'll click that little gray pencil icon that's next to the section that has hours of operation, your business hours, and add your regular hours. And then next, you're going to click the pencil that says add special hours. And then you can add any and all dates that will have irregular hours. All right, pretty easy to set up, right? So that finishes Google My Business, which is the first way that you can help your business get found online this holiday shopping season, and it's free. Let's talk about the second thing that you can do to grow your business online, and that is build and optimize your business website. Jeff had already talked a little bit about the importance of every business out there having a site, and he's right. You should consider that your home on the web. And the goal here for this section is to help your website be found by searchers everywhere, no matter where they're searching from or what device they are using. So let's talk about the results page again. So now we're looking at the organic results. And again, if someone types in a word or phrase, that's the search query, the list of relevant results is displayed below. Organic results appear in that center well of the page. So your next question might be, well, what words and phrases are people searching for, particularly people who are shopping? And I want you to start by brainstorming a list. How would people search for your business? How would people search if they knew what type of business they wanted, but they didn't know the name of yours? And how would people search if they had an issue, a need, a desire, but they didn't know what business, product, or service could help? Your goal is to build a comprehensive list of search queries related to your products and services. And you can use this list as a starting point when you're working to help your website appear in the search results. Let's start by talking about your website. And let's assume that you have one built for your business or you're in the process of doing that. So whether you've had it for years or you're just getting started now, here are some things to keep in mind to help it appear in Google's organic results and to make it more useful for people who are visiting. First of all, does the site have a mobile-friendly design? That is absolutely critical because, again, that's like half of searches on Google these days. Next, does your website have well-written content, information that people are actually looking for? Refer back to that list of words and phrases that you created about your business, your products, and your services. Your website should include content about all of these topics. If it doesn't, use this list to generate ideas about content that you can develop and add to your site. As you do add it to the site, make sure to keep it logically organized so that visitors can find what they're looking for. And one way to help is to add a site search feature. Photos are really important. A compelling picture or video speaks 1,000 words. Having high quality images on your site can really help sell your products and services. And another tip, ask yourself, what do you want website visitors to do next? And there might be many options. You might want people to call your store or request directions or place an order. Whatever the next step should be, encourage visitors by including clear, prominent calls to action. Another tip is to make it easy to contact you. Consider adding a phone number, an email address, and your business address to every single web page on your site, plus a contact page with all of these details combined. Once people find your site, do they have any reason to ever return to it? For many people, the answer is no. So I want you to try to be creative and think about what might give people a reason to return to your website and to share it with other people. Maybe that's a monthly giveaway or a library of video tutorials or coupons. It's going to depend on the business, but you need to give people a reason to come back. Let's talk about optimizing for mobile. So I've already started stressing how important it is to be mobile friendly, and people are searching for answers when they have these I want to know, go, do, and buy moments. And it's not surprising that when they have those moments, often they're holding their phone in their hand. So that's why those searches are happening there. So let's talk about mobile optimization. More and more websites are being built from the start with technology that automatically optimizes the format to fit the device it's being viewed on. This is called responsive web design, and it adjusts the site's appearance to best present the information based on the size of the screen. Using a mobile-friendly design is an important first step, but there are a few things that you can do within that framework, within that mobile-friendly template. First, make navigation easy and intuitive. For example, visitors expect that clicking the logo will return them back to the home page. So if you have a logo on your site, make sure that you can click on it and get back home. Another tip is to keep your navigation menu short. On a desktop version of a site, let's say my luxurious 15-inch screen, a visitor doesn't usually have trouble using a drop-down menu. But compare that to someone who's trying to navigate on a small phone, on a 4-inch screen. It's more difficult, right? So that's why mobile optimized sites use relatively simple navigations and large, easy to click buttons and links. Now, really think about your homepage. Chances are that's the first web page that a mobile visitor will see. What critical info does that visitor need? A phone number, an address? Make sure that whatever that info is, it's front and center. Another tip is to include that site search. Mobile users are often in a hurry, and a site search can help them find what they want fast. It should be easy to find and use and return the best results first. If possible, include bells and whistles like autocomplete and filters. Next, make it easy to complete tasks. For example, allow visitors to use the site without having to register for an account. And if they want to buy something, give them the option to check out as a guest. If your site has forms, minimize the number of fields, especially those required fields. You can autofill whenever possible, and if it really has to be a big form, you can use clearly labeled progress bars to help people get through it. Finally, it's better to optimize for usability on all of your pages. So research shows that with a mobile design, it's best to take an all or nothing approach. That means when you build a site, make sure that every single page works on mobile devices, not just a few of the pages. All right, so how do you actually see if your website is mobile friendly? Well, there's a test. It is called the Test My Site tool, and it's available at testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com. It's free. It measures the mobile friendliness, that is, the quality of the experience that site visitors have when browsing on a phone. To be mobile friendly, the site should have tappable buttons, be easy to navigate from a small screen, and have the most important info front and center. The test also measures mobile speed, or how long it takes the site to load on a phone. Keep in mind that it's not just the strength of the web connection that determines mobile speed, but also the elements on the web pages. And third, it measures your desktop speed as a comparison. After evaluating your site, the test generates a report with a list of specific suggestions that you can implement to improve your score. All right. One thing to point out here, it's part of our program at Google's Let's Put Our Cities on the Map team. For anyone out there who doesn't have a website yet or wants to see another option, you can access a free offer through our program. We partnered with a company called StartLogic to offer a website and domain name free for 1 year. You can access the offer by visiting gybo.com/business and clicking the link near the bottom that says Build a Free Website. Let's talk about a few other ways that you can promote your website. We've talked about ways to directly improve your site for desktop and mobile, but there are other things that you can do offline. Start by doing an inventory of all of your offline materials, like your written estimates or your invoices, your packaging, business cards, gift certificates, vehicles, and make sure that your website URL is on all of them. Second, ask happy customers to write online reviews. More and more potential customers start by reading reviews to help them make a purchase decision. Once you've verified your listing on Google My Business, you also have the ability to respond to reviews left on Google. Third, use email. It's fast and cost effective, but be careful not to overwhelm your customers. How many of you started today by deleting the first 100 emails in your inbox? I did. So before you send that email, ask yourself, is there a good reason for every person to open this email? And if there's not, you risk people immediately deleting them, or even worse, unsubscribing from your list. Last but not least, use social media to build a fan base and to nurture customer relationships online. You can also use it to actively grow your business. For example, if your business runs by appointment and you have a last-minute cancellation, you could use social media to let people know that you have that unexpected opening. All right, we've covered 2 ways to be found online: creating a Google My Business listing and a search-friendly, mobile-friendly website. Let's talk about a third thing that you should do right now: online advertising to promote your products and services. So ads can appear on Google. If you look at the search engine results page again, you see advertisements appear at the top, and they can also appear at the bottom of the page, above and below the organic results. The images that you see on the top row are shopping ads promoting products sold by online retailers. Text ads can appear below that. Ads are paid placements. Advertisers are competing against each other, bidding in a real-time auction for the opportunity to show their ads on these search results pages. So let's think back to my example when I realized I'd been sitting too long and I needed a gadget to get me moving. When I started my online research, Google's results showed ads for various brands and styles of fitness trackers. And that's one reason that online advertising is so effective, because the ads are not randomly broadcasted. They're shown to potential customers who are already looking for them. It's important to note that advertisers are not charged when the ads appear on the page. They pay only if the searcher takes that next step and clicks the ads. That's why this advertising model is called pay per click or cost per click. Ads can also appear on partner websites, known collectively as the Google Display Network. The Display Network includes millions of websites, including some Google sites like Gmail and YouTube. The Display Network helps advertisers show ads after a Google search, when people are consuming relevant content. Ads are displayed when it makes sense, based on criteria like the content of the page and demographic info. The Display Network provides access to a wide range of customers and allows advertisers to showcase products and services at different points in the buying cycle. Another bonus that with the Display Network, you can try different ad formats, including image ads. Today, we're talking about AdWords Express, which is a platform that requires minimal ongoing management. The system generates keywords and automatically fine-tunes the bidding, so you can get the most clicks out of your budget. And you don't even need a website to use AdWords Express to show an ad. You only pay if a person clicks your ad or calls the phone number. And there are no activation fees, cancellation fees, contracts, or minimum commitments. Ads can be turned on or off at any time without penalty. If you're ready to try this out, you can start by visiting gybo.com/awexpress. You'll be guided through a few steps. You enter some business details. You'll choose a category for the product or service that you're advertising. You'll write a text ad and decide where to show the ads and set a monthly budget. Once these are done, AdWords Express handles the rest. If you're interested in advertising on Google and you need help getting started or managing your ad campaigns, you can also try the Google Partners program. Google Partners are online professionals, agencies, marketers, and specialists that have been trained and certified by Google. The Google Partner Badge shows that these partners have passed certification exams that means they're up to date with the latest product knowledge and they meet performance requirements. You can start by visiting google.com/partners. And from here, you can search for partners filtering by location, budget, and areas of expertise. You can find badged Google partners worldwide who know your industry and specialize in what you need. Okay, so let's talk about your next steps. To wrap up today's session, we covered 3 things that you should do right now to help holiday shoppers find your business and show your products and services in those critical I want to know, go, do, buy moments. So here are some suggested next steps. First, claim, hang on one second. I think we either skipped a slide. I see we're looking at the Google account slide. That's totally fine. Let me tell you about the Google account slide. One thing that's important to know is before we use Google's products and services, you need to create or sign into a free Google account. And the account is a username and password that lets you sign in once to access all of the connected products like Gmail or Google Docs or Google My Business. And you can use that Gmail address or register another address if you prefer. All right. Going back to my next steps. First of all, create or claim your free listing at gybo.com/business and follow through with that verification process. So if you need to make updates to your info, you can sign in and make that change. Okay, second thing is build or improve your website. And your business really does need a search-friendly, mobile-friendly website. And third, try advertising on Google so so you can target your offers to people at the very moment that you're looking for you. Okay, so we talked about how you need a Google account to do this. One thing I wanted to show you here is a list of the resources that I talked about today. If you have any questions or you want to learn more about any of the topics that I covered in today's workshop, you can refer to this URL or this slide for the URLs, and Startup Nation should be making this available to anyone who's listening in today. And of course, if you don't have access to that, you can always do a Google search. So that wraps up today's session about 3 things that you can do right now to help your business get found by holiday shoppers. And on behalf of Google's entire Let's Put Our Cities on the Map team, I wish you all great success this holiday shopping season and beyond. And with that, thanks again. My name is Stasia, and now I'm going to turn it back over to Jeff.
All right, Stasia, thank you very much. You see a slide here again on startupnation.com. For those of you who are listening, you can check out startupnation.com to get your business started, to find tips on how to grow your business, how to manage your business. You can check us out on social media. We've got a radio show at startupnation.com. You can listen to all the great content there. And Stasia, we feature high value content at Startup Nation, and we pride ourselves on that high value content. Listen, you just delivered amazingly helpful, easy to understand, usable, actionable content that can make things go for small businesses in America. Thank you.
Great thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
It's great. Okay, and with that, let's do a little wrap up with some question and answer. We've gotten some questions delivered to us over Twitter, and what should we do? Should we want to just pick some of these? Stasia, first I'll start with one for you. A question comes in: does Google My Business take a long time to get verified and show the most up-to-date information about my business, or is it instantaneous?
So it depends on how you're verifying. If you use the postcard option, which is what most businesses do, you need to request the postcard, and it says that it can take up to 2 weeks. I've actually seen my postcard arrive within about 4 days. So when you get that postcard and you sign back into your account, at that point, you're done. It might take a few hours for that system to update. I've seen the longest that take is 3 days, but basically you're looking at the longest, say a week to actually verify. Now if you are working with someone in our program, there are other options. There's an Official Cities Partner program where some folks have access to expedited verification options. So it just depends on who you're working with to get it done. But at the longest, it'll take you a week.
Okay, right on. I'll pick another one here. I'll take this one as a special holiday blog on my website, a good way to bring in unique users this season, customers this season. Well, I think that all kinds, again, of social media activity, inbound, outbound, outreach, push-pull kind of marketing is all really strong. We know the power of content marketing. I think having a blog can be a good tool, but remember, for someone to read your blog, they have to be able to find it. So make sure you heed the advice given by Stasia and others to make sure you can get found. But then in addition, make sure there's a good value exchange there. If someone's going to take the time to read your blog, for me, it's either got to be, I'll put it in 2 major buckets. It's either got to be entertaining or deliver high value information or something usable, like announcement of a deal, or again, that kind of insider information that could be of high value and relevancy to a consumer in your market. If you can make it both entertaining and of high value and informative, all the better. But yes, the answer is a blog, as long as you do it right, absolutely can be one of the tools in your toolbox. And it's all additive. It all aggregates together to generate that kind of traffic that you're looking for. So absolutely yes, just make sure you do it right. Okay, next question. We can pick one here. How about this one? Stasia, for you. I've tried all organic search tricks I know, but I'm still having trouble driving traffic to my e-commerce website. What are some out-of-the-box ways to get more people to my site?
Well, that's a tough question.
It is
a complicated question. If you need visitors right now, and the thing about any SEO campaign is that they generally take time, and they're very competitive, because even though those clicks are free, everybody wants their products and services to show up that way, because those, obviously, they don't have to pay for them. So as an interim stopgap measure, if you need to be pushing something right now, advertising is fast. But I also understand that, okay, well, I want to work towards a goal of not having to pay to promote my products and services. I ideally would like it to show up organically. The core part, I used to actually own an SEO company, and the core component for every strategy that we ever came up with was developing content. So perhaps the biggest focus for you would be to identify the words, those queries, the searches and phrases where you are not getting the results that you want, and then really starting to creatively develop content, whether that's video content, tutorials, anything around it. Because at the end of the day, Google's algorithm, it's just a big computer program. And that computer program is looking to find the best fit for this searcher at this moment in time on this search query. And if your website is the best answer for that question, you've got a shot at showing up. That being said, SEO is a project for the long term. There's not much that you can do that can make your website suddenly appear the next week. In fact, you want to avoid that because that's arguably getting into sneaky methods that could actually get you penalized in Google's index. So think of it as the long-term project, and you can focus on content. Google also has a very large resource center for webmasters that talks about things that you can do to help your website be SEO friendly. Oh, and one more thing on top of that is to note that Google is now really starting to put an increased importance on your mobile friendliness on those searches that are happening from mobile devices. So even if you have good SEO results on a desktop machine, if your website isn't mobile optimized, you won't see the same success on a mobile device. So it's really important to be thinking about it both ways.
Okay, right on. All right, how about what is one advantage small businesses have over the big box stores during the busy holiday shopping season? I think I put a slide up and we talked about some of the advantages, but I'm going to sum up, instead of just giving one, because I gave 5 or 6 earlier, I'm going to sum it up this way. The biggest advantage that your store has over the big box retailers or the online retailers is you, Y-O-U, in all capital letters, and put an exclamation point on that as well. And what I mean by that is, if you think about the tactics and strategies, whether that be creating a shopping experience that's unique and distinct, or whether it be a higher level of customer service, or the expertise that you can showcase when someone's coming in to make a purchase that the big box retailers and the Amazons of the world aren't equipped to be able to do, or the personalization you can achieve. You know, all the tactics we talked about before, it all revolves around you. You're the person that's going to shake the customer's hand, greet them by name, and provide the kind of tone and experience that that customer is going to have in that store. That's going to absolutely be an opportunity for you to set yourself apart from the kind of dry, commodity-like nature of just an online or big box retailer shopping experience. So that's my answer to that question. I've got one for you, Stasia, and it is, how about this one? What can I do if someone leaves a negative review for my business? What can a store owner do about that?
We get that question a lot. So if someone has a negative experience with your company and writes a review, you can't remove it just because you don't like what they said. What you can do in cases where someone's written something that violates a guideline, an editorial guideline or a policy guideline, you can flag it for Google's attention. The best way to handle it is to think of this as publicized customer service, because once you have verified your Google My Business listing, you actually have the ability to respond publicly to reviews. So if people see that you as the business owner have addressed that complaint, that review professionally and politely, that's often, in some ways, that is even better because it's evidence that you're paying attention to your customers and handling it correctly. But a lot of businesses around, particularly the small businesses, are still very, very worried about this. But at the end of the day, if you have more positive reviews than negative reviews, and you handle those negative reviews appropriately, the net benefit of having good reviews for your business is going to far outweigh the occasional negative. Because, I mean, let's be realistic. For every product, every service out there in the world, there are going to be people who love it, and then people who might not love it, and they have things to say about it. It's really about what the majority of those reviews say and how you handle them. Does that make sense?
It does, and I think that's really good advice. I'll add one more thing. Especially because we're talking about local commerce here. So, we're not, generally speaking, we're not talking about tens of thousands of reviews. These are things that you can actually attend to. Again, the power of that you that we talked about, you, the store owner. I see it as an opportunity to turn, a negative review, a negative experience into a major positive by actually addressing that person head on, actually wanting to learn more, showing that you care, reaching out to them, and then maybe asking them at the end if they were satisfied with that experience to leave a counter review, updating their review, if you will, to indicate that a situation did arise, that the store owner handled it and attended to it with the level of importance that it should be attended to with, and did a good job turning the experience around. I think that really speaks well. Shop owners are tired. Shop owners can be frustrated, worn out, exhausted from the entire holiday shopping experience. And you're going to get some negative reviews, but turn a negative into a positive just that way. All right. Stasia, how about this one? To attract foot traffic, how specific should my area of service be in my business profile?
Well, again, it depends. If you're attracting foot traffic, how far would customers reasonably come to your store? So it's going to really depend on the area. Here I live in Nashville, and maybe that radius is 20 to 30 miles, whereas in New York City, maybe that's 5 miles. So you really need to think about your individual location. The thing that you don't want to do is put it to 500 miles, because people are not going to drive 500 miles in a single day to go and visit your business. I wish I could give you a more concrete guideline than that, but it really is just thinking about your particular business situation and creating that radius that makes sense for you.
Okay. And with that, I think that pretty much exhausts the general list of questions that we have. And I think we're going to call it a wrap. Again, amazing, Stasia. Thank you very much for the high value content. Incredible. And thank you all for tuning in. And let's go do some business on Shop Small Saturday, November 26th. Go get them.
Thank you.